Hey guys, Jonathan Edwards, Lacrosse Goalie Tips.com. Sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied today, but I just want to talk a little bit about stringing, about putting pockets in sticks and string sticks. Okay, on my left here, I've got a Nemesis head, and on my right, I've got my favorite. I've got an Eclipse head. Right, I like them both. Don't get me wrong. I find that my only downfall with the Nemesis, I just find it's a little heavy. When it's on the same shaft, it just feels heavy in my hands. Just me, they weigh about the same, no big deal. All right, you pick yours, but really outside of these two, I think you're wasting your time and your money. I want to just talk a little bit about stringing. The bottom line between these two heads, if you look at this head, is that it's pinched, meaning, sorry, not pinched, but the sidewall pinches, all right? Pinches in. I got this. I'm holding this straight up at you, right? So see how it pinches in. So the back of the head is actually closer together than the opening at the front, which is good because it funnels the ball into the middle, which is pretty sweet. And so I've got a what do I got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I got a 12 diamond mesh in here. And I've got a 12 diamond in this one as well. I've got another 10 sitting somewhere else. But in the Nemesis, I'm able to string this head right to the sidewall, all right, or the mesh right to the sidewall. See that? So I've got the mesh strung right to the sidewall there, all right. On the Eclipse, I've got a sidewall lace that's got some space in it to give me a similar pocket depth. So let's forget the ball in my pocket here. So here's the Nemesis strung, all right, about 2 balls. And I've got my Eclipse strung about 2 balls, okay? So with that in mind, if you have a stick, okay, I get questions a lot about what, you've got, let's say you got a school stick or you're given a stick and it's an old stick and the mesh is kind of tight and you want to put a deeper pocket in it. Okay, again, if it's 2 balls, 2.5 balls, you're pretty good for pocket depth, in my opinion. You can make it deeper, that's fine. The first thing you want to do with that stick is you want to untie the string at the throat that holds the mesh at the throat. This is the first thing to do. So you're gonna untie the mesh or untie the lace, and I use sidewall lacing pretty much everywhere on my goalie stick except for my cotton shooting strings. I use it across the top, use it down the sides, use it at the throat. It's pretty easy to work with. Okay. So the first thing you want to do is get rid of that, and then what that's going to allow you to do is it'll allow you to get a deeper pocket right away. See, now about 2.5 balls just by loosening up the end. Now what you have to do with this is you're going to need a longer, this is what the throat's going to look like. You see that? See how it's kind of bagged out? Now I've got the stick trimmed already. So I trimmed off my excess mesh, so I can't really show you. This probably would have had a couple more inches of mesh to it than what I started with. And so what you do then is once you do this, is you're going to lace up this piece of the mesh without pulling it up. Right? Understand? So I'm going to lace it so that I've got laces here, and I'm going to pull it up. I'm going to pull it closer to the throat, but I'm not going to pull it up. See that? See the difference? That can make a huge difference. It also makes a difference of where the pocket is. You can get a pocket down there towards the throat, then up there. That's the first suggestion. Okay, so the first suggestion for getting a deeper pocket is just basically undoing the throat, the lacing at the throat, and bagging it out a bit, and then retying it. So, as a goalie, you can be creative with the way you string the throat because a lot of times you're not getting ball shot there. The only time you're getting a ball where that really comes to play is when you make an off-stick hip save and you've got your top hand down. Meaning, if I go like this, I'll widen out the camera here for you. All right. If I make a save and I come down this way, if I'm a little tight with my hand, if I drop my elbow, which I shouldn't, I want to get this stick more vertical. But if I'm down here and that ball hits up in the throat, it might pop through. Okay, that's the only time that you got to worry about that. But it is significant. It is a big deal. So here's something that I recommend. Here's a little string tip. Okay, with the new sticks. Let me zoom back in. All right. All right. Is when you string a stick to start, okay, and it's got to break in a little bit. The worst thing is when you tie off knots and you tie them in square knots, and then they get wet, and then you can't get them, you can't adjust them quickly. And especially if you're at practice, if you're the only goalie, or if you're trying out for a team and you don't want to miss any reps in the cage, one of the best ways is to just tie slip knots. All right, so see what I've done here is I've tied slip knots so that if I need to get to this string, all right, so like here's that string in the throat, and where did I tie it off? Okay, I tied it off right here. All right, if I need to get to that string, I just pull my slip knot and I'm done. All right, see, it's all gone. All right, now I can adjust this however I want to do it. All right, I can adjust it out real quick. All right, and then I just tie the slip knot again. All right, I'm not getting into the specifics of slip knot tying. Go take a Boy Scouts class or a Girl Scouts class or brownies or whatever. All right, but it's real simple. All right, but it gives you. I even have my shooting strings done like that, and that's, you know, shooting strings are ones that take a beating, especially when you first get in the cage with a new stick, and they tend to bag out really quickly, especially cotton laces. All right, that's why my top lace is always a sidewall lace, because it doesn't stretch as much as a cotton lace will. But these cotton laces, when they're brand new, they stretch out a ton, and so it takes you a bit to kind of get that shooting string set up over and over. So I recommend slip knots till your stick's broken in, and even then you may as well have them to make adjustments, especially if you play in the rain, all that type of stuff. So for fixing your stick, to all of a sudden, if you've got a stick that's not good and it's too shallow, you want to either first step is to look at the throat, get that loosened up, bag it out, see if that helps you, because what'll happen is that the mesh is channeled back, which is good. All right. The other thing to add is you can add a sidewall, or if there's no side, like if this is strung straight to the side like my other stick, you loosen up the sidewall, or you add another string here. And I wish I had one strung up for you, but let me describe it for you. What you do is you undo the sidewall, okay? Undo the sidewall, except leave it up at the top. Or sorry, you're gonna run a string up through the mesh. Right, I'm just gonna try to describe this and hopefully you can get it. You're gonna run up through the mesh, straight through the mesh. It's not attached to the plastic at all. Straight up to the mesh, or to the top of the plastic. You tie it off here. You can tie it off anywhere up top. And then you're gonna bring it down and lace it just like you would this normal sidewall. So now you basically have a sidewall attached to that lace that's running through the mesh. And that should give you another, let's say, ½ an inch. All right, it give you another ½ an inch of distance. It can give you more if you want to get creative with it. But the bottom line is that sidewall does not go from sidewall to mesh. It goes from sidewall to the lace that's laced through the mesh, and then that's to the mesh. Does that make sense? All right, and that'll buy you some more depth in your pocket. So those are usually my quick fixes for you know, if I have a kid stick, it comes up to me and says, "Coach, I need a deeper pocket." That's what I do. First, look at the throat. If you can get any more distance out of the sidewall lacing, great. If not, you're gonna have to add the lace up the mesh and then sidewall it back down, and that should be good. All right? So keep that in mind. If you've got any questions, Jonathan at lacrossegoalietips.com. Talk to you soon.